Hi everybody, welcome to Social Studies with Ross. You ever felt like this in class at all this year or in the past? Well, I got news for you. We got some changes that are going to happen to hopefully avoid having you feel like this in class. Right? So a couple more things. Just quickly ask yourself, has this occurred to me in any class either this year or in the past? First one, you sit in your class and the teacher just talks for the whole period and does notes and you're writing down, okay, you're trying to pay attention, right? Or you're really doing your best, but you're just having difficulty keeping up, right, as the teacher goes through notes. Or finally, you understand the material, you want to move on, but you can't because the rest of the class doesn't understand yet either, right? Some of the changes I'm going to make to my class will allow each of you to be successful, right, and what's going to be referred to as flipping my classroom. Okay, so why should I go about doing this? Well, first one is not every student is given the best possible chance to succeed. If I stand at the board and talk the whole period, the people who learn best that way are going to do well, but the students who don't learn best, they're going to struggle, and it's not fair to them, right? And then students who need to be pushed are also not being challenged because they're waiting for the rest of the class, right? On the flip side of that, students who need extra help, they don't have the time in class to receive that help, right, because class time is spent on me doing notes, right? So by flipping class, I've also now freed up a lot of class time that we can now work on applying material, developing skills, and also engaging in fun, challenging activities, right? How can the flip help you? How can me flipping my class help you? Well, first, most important, it allows you to learn at your own pace. You decide what activities you're going to do, right? You have time in class to work on things. You can work on things at home, okay? And I'm with you every step of the way. Absent students are able to know what's going to be due at what point, okay? They can stay on top of things even if they're not actually in class. And then probably the most important, all right, is class time is now all about students working together. Okay, me now, I get to travel from student to student, from group to group, working with you, where if I'm standing at the front of the room writing on the board, I don't have the time to do that. Right, so in addition, you also get more one-on-one time with me if you need any clarification on things. No one's getting lost in the shuffle. And then, also extremely important, you're learning skills that help you be successful in high school, like time management and prioritizing your assignments. All right, so here's problem number one. All the students in my class are not being given the best chance to be successful, and my job as teacher is to provide an opportunity for each student to be successful. So class is going to be tweaked a little bit, right, to provide opportunities for everybody to show, all right, their success. And the second one is we're not making the best use of class time by having me stand at the front of the board and tell you the important information. It doesn't make you a great learner, and it doesn't make me feel like I'm using the best amount of face time that we actually have. Right? So here's the old way of we do things in class. Okay? School is where you would get the information. All right? And then home is where you would use the information. Now the problem here is if you're working with the information at home and you have a question, you can't raise your hand and say, Ross, I need help, because unfortunately I'm not sitting there next to you working with you while you use the information. So the solution to this problem is really quite simple. Let's just flip everything around, right? Let's use the information in school and get the information at home. Think about it. By using screencasts in our notes, okay, you could do it in school, right? You're getting the information outside of class, which then frees up class time for me to work with you and answer any questions, right, to guide you through the learning process. Okay? What does this mean to you, or how does this help you? Okay, the notes, as we've been practicing so far, the notes are going to be done in class. Okay, how can we make learning more meaningful for you? Right? Our notes are now not going to be done in class per se, meaning I'm not going to stand at the front of the board and give you the notes. I record the notes, and then I put them in two places, right, that make it easy for you to watch. I can put them on the internet. I have a YouTube channel where they're going to be viewed, or I put them on, and I also put them on the G Drive here at school. You watch the videos, you fill in your notes, okay? Then you come to class ready to use that material to complete your activities, right? If you have questions, you could always pause the video, you could rewind the video, okay? It's all available to you, right, through that electric method. Right? And then by simply using the screencast, we've now just time shifted all of that information out of class, all right, which now gives you the time to learn at your own pace. You can rewatch things, okay? You can always go back and review before the test or before the midterm or the final exam, okay? You could always use your textbook to fill in your notes as well if you don't have access to the internet at home. And now that allows us now to maximize all our face time, okay? And a thing that might interest you guys is you now have control over your learning, which me as a teacher, that should be my goal, is to have you be actively involved in the learning process, right? How are you in control? Well, I give you all the activities and the assignments, right? I give you an activity list and I give you a blank planner, okay? You are going to then choose, okay, where and when you fill those things in. Obviously, to keep some structure, I'm going to have due dates in there, right? But you pretty much are in control of where you complete assignments and when they get completed. And if you're someone who does need that structure and you're worried about not being organized, you could always just follow the example activity planner that I do provide for you. And I tell you, maybe this day you should work on these activities, this day do these activities, right? Which, you know, it may seem like a lot of work, but in essence, there's no homework. Here's all the stuff that we need to do together. We have class time to do it, you have home time to do it, you have lunch time to do it, you have after school time to do it. You're in charge of when you complete those activities. Okay, and by moving the notes, right, outside of class through the use of the screencast, remember, we'll have access to the computers during the school day, so if you need to go watch the notes again, right, that is always an option to you, right? But the whole idea here is that the learning in class has now shifted from me being in control to you being in control, or from teacher-centered to student-centered, which allows you to best make sure you learn, right, and demonstrate your understanding of the learning. Okay, and then you're looking at the 3 learning groups. Okay, everybody's pretty much divided into these 3 groups in class. The high-level kids, okay, everything is front-loaded, so they can always work ahead if possible, if they would like to. Right, there are extra credit activities available to them as well. Right, the middle-level students, they just like everybody else, they can work at their own pace, and if they need assistance or mediation, right, I am there to help them. And then the lower level students, all right, they can use the structured activity planner I give them, and then I am available to them in class now because I've freed up so much class time, right, that I can help them get through, right, all stages. All right, some more benefits. Class time is no longer you sitting in your seat listening to the important information. Now it's you working with your classmates and me, right, with the important information. And then if you have a question, you don't have to wait until the next day in class. I'm right there in class with you to be able to clear up any confusion. Right? Here are some opportunities that are available to you. Okay, you will have section review quizzes, right, every couple days. Right? If you are not satisfied with your grade, you can come in during lunch or after school into my class. Okay, you can retake the quiz while watching the video, and you can get half of your points back. Extra credit assignments are built in for you, right? And also test corrections. It's all about improvement. It's all about learning, showing me that you're understanding the material. All right, and here's kind of the big point. As a result of the flip, all right, I'm more available, all right? I don't have to spend time standing at the front of the room talking to you, okay? I can now work with each and every student, okay, and coach them or guide them through the learning process. All right, so in summary, here's my goal. That was my old class. Me standing in the front of the room, talking, writing on the board, you sitting nice and quietly in your seats, copying it down. Right? It's no longer going to work like that in my class. Okay? Here's the new way of going about things. Okay? I am no longer going to stand at the front of the room and tell you what's important. You are going to be working with your classmates and with me on the important stuff, right? And you'll be responsible, right, to obtain the notes through watching the screencasts outside of class. It will benefit you tremendously. You'll be able to learn how to manage your time. Okay? You'll be able to prioritize activities. Most importantly, you'll be able to teach one another and work with one another, which is a valuable life skill.